My sister made me install cameras in my car after her assault. I thought she was paranoid until my driving instructor disabled them and attacked me. 7 years later, he's out of prison and just applied to teach my daughter's driver's ed class. When I was 12, my older sister was R-worded by a police officer who pulled her over on the side of the road. She was in the hospital for 2 weeks and never told anyone what happened. She just kept saying, he had a badge. No one will believe me. The bruises on her wrist told their own story. Purple and black like storm clouds against her pale skin. She wouldn't let anyone touch her for months after that, flinching whenever someone moved too quickly or spoke too loudly. For years after that, my sister became obsessed with recording everything. I had to FaceTime her whenever I went anywhere. Grocery store, park, gym, everything. She'd make me show her the parking lot before I got out of the car, scan the aisles as I shopped, keep the camera on even in bathroom stalls. My entire life was dictated by a fear of something that never even happened to me. So when I turned 16, she got me a car. A used Honda Civic. Nothing fancy, but reliable. But before she handed me the keys, she'd installed 4 different cameras, dashboard, rear view, and 2 hidden ones pointing at the driver and passenger seats. The installation took her 3 days, working late into the night with YouTube tutorials and a determination that bordered on obsession. She made me promise to never turn them off. You're being paranoid, I told her, watching as she tested each camera feed on her laptop. Not every cop is bad. It's not about good or bad, she said, her fingers trembling slightly as she adjusted the angle of the rear-facing camera. It's about evidence, but everyone at school thought it was weird. My friends refused to ride with me because they didn't want to be recorded. Sarah, my best friend since middle school, actually laughed when she saw them. What is this? An FBI surveillance van? My boyfriend broke up with me because he said it felt like my sister was always watching. He texted me the breakup, too cowardly to even say it to my face. Or maybe just too uncomfortable doing it in my car. I started to resent her for making me the weird girl with the surveillance car. When I started driving lessons to get my license, my instructor was Lieutenant Morrison, aka Lieutenant Dan. He was ex-military, ran the best driving school in town, and had a wall full of awards. His office was like a shrine to his accomplishments. Commendations from the Army, certificates from the DMV, photos with the mayor. Parents specifically requested him because he was old school and taught respect along with driving. My mom had been thrilled when we got him. You're so lucky, she'd said. He's booked months in advance. On my 3rd lesson, he noticed the cameras. We were practicing lane changes on the highway when his eyes caught the red recording light on the dashboard. Did your parents install these? He asked, his weathered face creasing into a frown. My sister, I said. She's protective. He shook his head, pulling into a rest stop to examine them more closely. How can I teach you properly if I'm being watched? It makes me nervous. And if I'm nervous, you'll be nervous. That's how accidents happen. He had a point. My sister's paranoia was ruining my life. For the test, he said, leaning back in the passenger seat, his bulk making the car feel smaller. They'll fail you if they see these. Unauthorized recording devices. State Regulation 247.3. I can show you how to temporarily disable them just for lessons and the test. Then you can turn them back on after you pass. So I let him show me. It was easy, just unplugging a few wires under the dash. His hands were steady and sure, like he'd done this before. He even had a special tool in his glove compartment. Said he kept it for students with overprotective parents. He promised that we'd reconnect them after my test next week. My final lesson was on a Thursday. The November air was crisp, leaves swirling across the empty roads. We were supposed to practice parallel parking downtown, but Lieutenant Dan said he knew a better spot. An old lot by the industrial district where the DMV used to test people. More room to practice, he said, directing me through unfamiliar streets. Less pressure. No one watching and judging. The lot was empty. No other cars, no buildings nearby, just cracked asphalt and faded yellow lines barely visible under years of weather and neglect. Chain link fence on 3 sides, rusted and bent in places. The 4th side opened onto a service road that looked like it hadn't seen traffic in years. Let's work on your 3-point turn, he said. But when I put the car in reverse, he grabbed the wheel. His grip was iron strong, military training evident in the way he controlled the vehicle without seeming to exert any effort. Actually, he said, and his voice was different now, quieter, lower, the jovial instructor persona dropping like a mask. Let's talk about respect. I tried to reach for my phone in the cup holder, but he already had it. His movements were so smooth I hadn't even seen him take it. Paranoid families, he said, reaching into his jacket. Always think they're so smart with their cameras.